What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to 3 Days Talking Podcast. We are back with another Pink Floyd studio album. Trying to get my camera in the right spot. Studio album, the 7th? Are we at number 7?
I think so.
Number 7, the 7th studio album by Pink Floyd. We've reached Obscured by Clouds, which means, given that Pink Floyd has 15 studio albums, if we are going to do their entire discography, we are almost halfway through it officially. Yeah, that's a big discography. 15 studio albums to do, potentially doing them all. We'll see. Maybe skipping one later on, but we'll figure that out. But we have reached Obscured by Clouds. Thank you guys so much. The growth recently on the subscriber base has been fantastic, especially the Pink Floyd and Radiohead fans have really showed up doing their discography. So shout out to you guys. You guys have been fantastic. Cole's getting all comfy. Look at him all snuggled up. All right, so Obscured by Clouds came out in 1972. It is 10 songs, 40 minutes long. The last album we did was Metal by Pink Floyd, and that came out in 1971. So Pink Floyd goes on a little burst here. Metal, Obscured by Clouds, Dark Side of the Moon, all year, all right after each other. Noah, this is where What?
I mean, they released an album per year from 1967 to 1973.
Did they really? Okay, yeah. Well, they've been going on a run, releasing a lot of music, then, we'll say like that. We've reached Obscured by Clouds, a very interesting album cover. It's a very blurry, what looks to me as a guy reaching for something through a window, and there's like drops of water. I don't know. Noah, can you provide me some insight on this cover? Do you know anything about it?
Well, I'm looking at it. I have it.
Oh, we busting out the vinyls.
Yeah, I have Obscured by Clouds in now. No, I'm looking at it directly.
Can't see
No,
anything.
I cannot tell you what it is. I cannot tell you what's happening.
It does look like a dude reaching his hand out, though, right? Like,
I mean, yeah,
it's
certainly a dude.
Yeah.
I have never once noticed that before. I've never looked that closely at this cover. No, that there's a guy on it.
Oh, really?
I looked at it once. I've just always looked at it and be like, yeah, it's blurry. Okay.
Well, chat just told us it's a scene from a film, so much appreciated,
part of the film
chat.
part of the film the album is for. Well, their music, I mean, and their shows tended to be pretty visual.
Okay.
I don't know, Pink Floyd being big in the movies just makes sense, especially for what they'll do later on.
All right, so let's talk about Obscured then. I don't know who wants to take this one, but this album comes after Metal, which was a dramatic, I think we all agreed, a dramatic step up from their previous works. Really started to showcase their sound that they would evolve into. I assume, I mean, we've all heard Obscured. I will assume you all agree that this kind of takes that and continues it. Doesn't really fully build on what they're about to get to, but it continues that progression.
No.
No, you disagree. Okay. What do you think of Obscured?
I would not say this continues the progression from Metal. I would also not say it's a step back either.
Just more of the same.
It's more of a plateau. Like they're not doing anything too crazy.
Cole, you're about to say
it's kind of a detour into very straightforward songwriting.
Yeah.
For the purposes of a soundtrack.
Okay. Well, the one time I've listened to Obscured twice. The first time I listened to it, I was very surprised. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it because I didn't think I liked much of the early Floyd, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. I remember first listen, I was like, this fucks, and I enjoyed it a lot. There doesn't seem to be a single song on here that you would describe as a hit, would you? Nothing really has a lot of streams on there. No big.
I don't think they've ever made a hit up to this point. Very straightforward Pink Floyd songs. Nothing particularly overly indulgent going on here.
Okay. All right. Well, that's about as basic as it gets from Cole. All right, let's get into it. Obscured by Clouds, 1972, Pink Floyd. We'll start with the title track and first track, title track, which apparently doesn't have lyrics, but does it have lyrics?
No.
Okay.
No, the first two songs do not have lyrics.
I completely forgot. And Tangerine Dream be an option on the poll? Nope. Again, if I haven't heard of it, it's not going on the poll.
Whack. Tangerine Dream is awesome.
They might be.
We're trying to go for something a little bit more popular.
experimental today.
We've already been.
No, we're not.
You wouldn't call The Wall or Dark Side experimental or animal?
Not at all. No. What? No, not at all.
We're gonna talk about this later.
Dark Side is experimental, like in other ways, not really musical qualities.
The Wall. What?
Music is a little too loud. I usually get told it's not loud enough. I think The Wall is experimental, but I'm gonna explain why I do in a minute. As Cole and Noah both die inside a little.
It's not remotely.
Dark Side is sleeper. Damn.
It is not a sleeper. That is a lame opinion.
Oh man,
That's a
Dave, come on.
contrarian opinion. I guess I'll put
Hold
myself
on
first.
1 second.
It is okay. It just has this droning synth in the background, which I have no issue with. It certainly helps fill up a lot of empty space if that wasn't there. It's got some drums, maybe even some like electronic drums as well. Sounds like there could be something like that in there. And then he just got this guitar. That's the song. I mean, it's a cool sounding guitar. It's playing some pretty neat stuff, but not really too much going on here. I'd give it a 7.
7. So, one thing I wanted to say about this sounds like every 80s cop montage movie song of all time. Whenever you had a scene where nobody's talking and you just have like a 2 cops or a cop driving around in a cop car, usually undercover, and big shots of people going all like they're driving in like LA or something and just on. I know it's a soundtrack, so it kind of makes sense for that, but that is like screeching what this is. It is just the exact song you would have when a guy is just driving on a freeway in LA, an undercover cop doing whatever they're doing. That, and you got the big aerial POVs of him too. That's exactly what this song is. Like Noah said, there's not a whole lot to it, so there's not a whole lot to talk about, but that guitar does screech and it hits. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5 to an 8. Cole.
I think it's a really cool opener. I mean, this is like, to me, for some reason, every time I hear this song, it always feels like it's like bordering on being an art rock song. I think because of that like droning synthesizer, whatever that is. I don't know. I really, really like that a lot. And I think it's got a really cool groove, good guitar riff.
Mm-hmm.
Not the greatest guitar tone that I've ever heard, certainly not from David Gilmour, but you know, I still really like the song quite a bit. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Okay, moving on to When You're In.
Anyone else think that sounds like really Asian?
kind of hear it. Like sort of like a
keyboard
tone
tone.
sound.
Like some Chinese music.
Yeah, I can hear
That
that.
keyboard tone fucks. Big fan.
I wonder how many 80s movies this album soundtrack.
None as far as I'm aware.
Hello, Jordan. That part right there with the dun 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 keyboard, I 100% get what you're saying. This is such a weird first two songs for a Floyd album.
Soundtrack, man.
I get it, but More didn't have two instrumentals to start. What are you laughing about?
I don't think there's another instrumental though.
It's a 30-second fade out. When does Floyd ever do 30-second fade outs?
I'm trying to remember if it comes back in or not. I think it does.
Cool, fun little instrumental. Yeah, it's just pretty catchy. Nice little groove to it. Cool riff. It was fun. 7.5.
A little boring after you listen to it for a minute because nothing really changes. And then it fades out for the next minute and a half slowly, and he proceededly gets a little faster. Short enough to not really bother me though, so solid 7. Noah.
Yeah, a little bit of a groover here. I think they got a real nice groove going on. I'm a big fan of the riff. I think the tones sound really good. Big fan of the keyboard tone. Drums sound a little dry. I guess that's like my only complaint with the song. But I mean, yeah, it's once again a very inoffensive song because they just kind of do one thing and stick with it. I'd give that an 8.
We'll see what happens on Burning Bridges. How we get lyrics.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bridges burning gladly, merging with the shadow, flickering between the lines. Stolen moments floating softly on the air, borne on wings of fire and climbing higher. Ancient bonds are breaking, moving on and changing sides. Dreaming of a new day, cast aside the other way.
Love that
Magic
wah wah sound in the
visions
left ear.
stirring, kindled by and burning, flames rise in her eyes. the jungle walls that once were high. Beyond the gilded cage, beyond the reach of tides. The moment is at hand, she breaks the golden band.
Good there, Cole.
Big thud outside.
Man. There's a lot of good on this song, and there's a little bit of not so good. The not so good is probably the thing I don't care about the most, though, so I'll make that quick. I think that the dual vocals, wait, geez, I almost said voice and vocals at the same time. The dual vocals happening on the left and right ear bothered me a bit too much. But then as they came together and made like they were singing at the same time, it really faded out and didn't really bother me anymore. It just really was the start of the song that I had an issue with. I think the guitar was crazy good, crazy unique. Didn't expect it to be so wavering wah heavy as it was. Noah, you could explain it better, but the little wah wah part in the left ear, I don't know exactly what they were doing. It was like a little 2-second thing, and then they bring it in, and then they bring it only in at like one specific part of the song a couple different times. That was really cool. Like that effect. Drums are kind of basic, didn't do a whole lot, didn't have to do a whole lot. It was a very slow song. Overall, probably a more underrated song than I don't really ever hear this song getting talked about. Probably a bit more underrated, but it's also going to fall into the category of just not doing a whole lot here. 7 to a 7.5. Noah.
Oh, this is indeed an underrated song. They got a nice, real good dreary vibe going, and I think they capitalized on it really good. Big fan whenever I get a David Gilmour, Richard Wright duet. Both of them sound rather beautiful. Guitar solos are really good. Fits the atmosphere perfectly. I don't know, this song is just the atmosphere does it for me more than anything. Very good song. I'm feeling a 9 on that one.
Wow.
That's a really good song.
Wow. Little shout out to the lyrics there, by the way. I forgot to mention. I thought the lyrics were a fun read too. All right, cool.
Very bite-sized Pink Floyd song, considering what they've been doing recently. It's got that dreamy kind of Pink Floyd signature sound to it, but in a very very condensed package. I think it's good. It's not one of my favorite melodies from Pink Floyd, like vocally. But it's got really good lyrics and a nice instrumental and a good atmosphere to it. So I'll throw it an 8.
Okie dokie. We're pedaling through this album. Let's go up next with the gold. It's in the wild title. And there it is.
Come on, my friends, let's make for the hills.
Hi.
Say there's gold, but I'm looking for thrills.
I have a complaint.
You can get your
have a complaint?
hands on whatever we find.
I will definitely get to it.
Along for the ride. When you go your way, I don't mind. I don't care if we get there on time. Everybody's searching for something, they say. I'll get my kicks on the way. Over the mountains, across the sea. Who knows what may be waiting for me? I could sail forever to strange sounding names.
This is probably the most mainstream sound they've had in their first 7 albums. 100%.
Depends if we're counting the singles they made before Piper.
I'm talking about on their album.
I mean, I guess.
Guitar's fading a bit here, though. Feels like I'm not getting the punch it was before.
I like this part better than it did the solo. It doesn't need to be high pitch to, you know, be getting my attention.
I didn't say it did, it just needs to be bigger.
I always forget that that song is like one verse and then just a guitar solo for the rest of it.
Well, the weird thing about this start to this album is almost every song has been basically 3 minutes or so. All right. Well, I'll say this. I said in the song, this is the most mainstream I've heard Pink Floyd sound up until this point. And kind of definitely the most mainstream I think they'll sound for quite a while. This was oddly generic, if you want to say it like that. Oddly generic in like a great way, if I can make that make sense. And like the least mean version of generic. It sounds really good, but also really easy to listen to. Doesn't require a whole lot of like hearing things out. The guitar solo is great. I'm a big fan of how it cuts in. I know some people aren't, especially by what chat was saying. Some people didn't like the way the guitar just cuts in abruptly and just goes right up and starts going like a cat almost. But I liked it. It kind of just, it sounds like he just plugged that shit in and went. I'm a fan of it. It sort of sticks out a bit. I like the vocals. I think the vocals are very easy to listen to and catchy. And the way he sounds is very good. Lyrics weren't amazing, but they weren't bad either. They're a decent read. Nothing horrible, nothing wrong with them either. Catchy song, rhythmic, long fade out. Again, very short here for this album. This album is kind of short as a whole, and there's not a whole lot else going on inside of that. So I'm gonna give this probably an 8. I think that was probably the easiest one to listen to so far. Now, Cole, since no one wants to go last, apparently. You're up, Cole.
I picked up on that. Fun little tune right there. I wouldn't say it's flawless. I don't. The guitar tones up to this point have been a bit questionable. I don't think the guitar tones are great. His playing is pretty solid. Again, it's not the best solo I've ever heard from David Gilmour. It's a little wonky sometimes, but it's not bad. And the only other small complaint I have is it's not the best harmonizing I've ever heard. They're just not. I just don't think they quite have that harmonizing chemistry yet between them, I guess. So they just didn't line it up super well. Whatever the problem was, I don't know. Just felt a little bit, tiny little bit off. Outside of that, really good melody, fun energy, fun lyrics, I guess. Just some guy who's just trying to go have an adventure. And he's like, just trying to get his friends to come with him. He's like, guys, there's gold. I mean, I don't really want any, but y'all can go get it. I just try to go have some fun. Which is such a weird topic for your song to be about, but whatever. It's fun. Yeah, cool song. I'll throw it at 8.5.
Nice. Noah.
Vocally, not what I want it to be. David Gilmour is definitely not at the points he will get for more high energy songs like this that require him to get a little bit more raspy. That's something he'll definitely improve on later with like a Young Lust or a Not Now John. But right now, I'm not crazy about his voice when he does that, especially with the overdub. the overdub on it, like Cole said, it feels off. I feel like they probably could have gotten a couple more takes on that one. Not crazy about that. The solo's solid. Yeah, not the greatest tone I've ever heard. Probably my least favorite guitar tone so far on the album. But I mean, what he's playing is perfectly fine. I mean, it definitely sounds like it was improv on some pieces of it, but solid. I'd give it 8 for the time.
All right. What's the deal?
Lay it on me.
Heaven sent the promised land. Looks alright from where I stand. 'Cause I'm the man on the
I hate the fact that I think the commercial is funny.
What?
The pig squealing commercial.
So we.
I hate that. I find that really funny.
Let me in from the cold, turn my land into gold. 'Cause there's a chill wind blowing in my soul, and I think I'm growing old. Flash the red is what's a deal. Got to make it to the next meal. Try
That
to
line made
keep
no
up
sense to
with
me
the
at all.
turning of the wheel. Mile after mile, stone after stone, you turn to speak, but you're alone. Million miles from home, you're on your own. So let me in from the cold, turn my land into gold. 'Cause there's a chill wind blowing in my soul, and I think I'm growing old. Bright by candlelight, and her by my side. And if she prefers, we never stir again. Someone sent the promised land, and I grabbed it with both hands. Now I'm the man on the inside looking out. Hear me shout, come on in. did. 'Cause there's no wind left in my soul, and I've grown old.
Oh, that's such a good line. Holy fuck. what a
Ain't
way to
it?
end it. God damn. That last verse hit. No, you gotta write some bars like that for your next mixtape.
Yeah, I don't know if I could come up with that.
No, you
Yeah,
did.
I've called this one
Idiot.
in advance.
You did.
Because this is one of my personal favorite Pink Floyd songs. This song just fills me with so much joy, so much happiness. The lyrics are so happy. Just everything about the song makes me smile. I love the overall just progression of the instrumental. I love the piano solo and the guitar solo. Slide guitar solo is really good. Vocals are great. I mean, this song, front to back, kind of perfect, man. I think it's kind of perfect. I mean, I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
I'm gonna give it a 10.
there it is.
I have to.
The
I
first
love this
10
song
of
so
the
much.
album comes from Noah, of course. All right. Yeah, what a pretty song. What a very well made, pretty beautiful, all the other adjectives for just looking at a very peaceful song that has a little bit of jauntiness to it, just a tiny bit. It's got a little bit to it. It's got that sway, that back and forth that you can just vibe with the whole time, and it's so fun to listen to. I want to give a big shout out to the lyrics on this one. I was engaged that whole time. Enamored. That's a great adjective. I was just reading and I'm like, these are fucking bars, man. They really are. I mean, the way they ended in that last verse was just a perfect summarization of that whole song, just being great lyric after great lyric. Even the one I didn't understand, the red light flash or the red flash, what's the deal? I didn't really understand what they meant by that, but it was very interesting to read, and I was trying to figure it out. And when you get me to try to figure out a line, that's engaging, that's interesting, and it makes the lyrics good. Big shout out to the lyrics. I don't know whether it was Waters or Gilmore or whoever wrote them. I'm assuming Waters. Huge shout out. I think everything complemented each other very well from start to finish. It never dipped. It never went below, to me at least, a 9 to a 9.5. Cool. I'm gonna give it a 9. Sorry, not 9. Solid 9. Cool.
Very pretty song, very dreamy, as Pink Floyd would kind of become known for. Yeah, really good lyrics, as has been stated. Very, very nice lyrics. I guess if I have any complaint about it, I would say the vocal the vocal performance and the vocal melody are good, but not great.
Yeah.
It's not really much of a complaint though, because they're still good. But yeah, it's just a really pretty song. Very straightforward, nice solos. All around, very, very good stuff going on. 8.5 to a 9.
All right. Up next, Mudmen. Also, this is instrumental. Perfect. I can do this. If you're new here and you've never been here before, join
Is
our
it?
Discord.
Yeah.
Or in the Spotify.
Damn
it
good
is.
one.
Join our Discord. Type ! Discord and get the link. Lots of fun ranking channels there. Enjoy it and follow us on Twitter. We post when we go live, and I'm going to try to keep posting our scheduled live streams as well. And our videos.
Oh wow, we are already halfway done.
Yeah, this album's
Yeah.
going fast. Paul McCartney be like, I write boring derivative music. What?
Okay.
Not a great take.
We don't gotta be-
Crazy.
That feels like a little bit of a contrarian take. I think a lot of Beatles.
Paul
hate
McCartney wrote
things
Helter
like that.
Skelter. How is Helter Skelter boring derivative music?
I mean, he does have his stinkers.
I'm not saying. I mean,
Or
yeah,
more bangers.
I'm not saying
They all did.
This is
Yeah.
like shit.
I-
Generalization.
I'm just not gonna, act like he did no wrong. Because he made When I'm 64.
I like that song.
That song is so not good.
All right.
I almost
Full
yeah,
guitar
we gotta.
and come on.
Not the best tone.
What a tone.
Not a great tone.
Love that
Wow,
tone.
man.
Don't really like the tone.
God, that tone is like a razor. So sharp.
In a squawky way.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Sounds thin.
Sounds sharp.
It's got no power to it.
I do wish that drop there had hit a little bit of a harder hit. Wow.
Thank you, Hugo. The tone does fuck.
That was a below average guitar tone.
We are lying.
Your tone takes are sometimes pretty fucking whack, Cole.
You
Well,
two,
it's not like it was fucking maggot brain.
you two probably disagree more about guitar tones than anything else in instruments.
Damn.
Anything.
Shit on the reeling in the years tone one more time, pal. I dare ya.
Boy, anything high pitched and you just lose your shit.
High pitched? What do you mean? What does that mean?
This
Any
wah
high
is
pitched
so
guitar
good.
tone, you lose your fucking mind.
Anything can be high pitched. It just depends on what you're playing.
Ladies, fight later.
Some of the keyboard stuff is very Dark Side of the Moon-esque.
Kind of a rough ending.
No.
Title of this song does not in any way, size, shape, or form make sense for the instrumental. Smooth as hell versus a mud. Doesn't make any sense at all, but maybe it's trying to be that way. Cole, I'm signing
Yeah.
you up for first entry.
Okie dokie. It's a nice instrumental. I stand by my opinion that I don't love that guitar tone. Don't even really like it. It's a little too squawky for me. He's had better guitar tones before this, and he's gonna have way better ones in the future. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, just kind of irritates me a little bit. But it's played very nice. It's a very nice guitar solo, and the song has a nice atmosphere to it, very calming, and just kind of, like Ryan said, very very smooth, perhaps very elegant little progression to that song. It's nice. I'll throw it a 7.5.
You might be the first person you've ever called Floyd elegant.
I really doubt that.
All right, I'll let Noah finish with the last response. But I wanted to say, my opinion about the tone is I don't really care because it all sounded great to me. All the instrumentals together combined to sound amazing. And when when the guitar first came in, I'm like, oh, that feels so right for this song. It felt exactly what I would want to. Just this big piercing strike that comes in, and the solo carries the rest of the song, and the drums went doo 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 and hit at such a perfect strike at the same time as the guitar. It blended masterfully together. It felt like a conductor leading a perfect like orchestra. It was well done. It was very well done. everything timed well, and I got to give massive props to that. Only thing I wish this song had was a verse. Honestly, I wish there was I think a verse would be a little bit better. You could pull a Dark Side here of the Moon and just come in with a killer verse by David, and you would have probably a perfect song. I think it's just missing that last little step. Not to say you can't have an instrumental that is a 10, but I feel like this song would have been so cool with some killer verse. So I'll give it 9.5.
Okay. I'm not going to go that hard in the paint, but all right. Boy, the keyboard is very pretty on this song. It's doing a lot of the heavy lifting, considering the guitar really just comes in for its like little own hook, I guess, instrumental hook.
Mm-hmm.
That's very pretty. You have the one in the left channel that's really driving it, and then you have another one in the right channel that the best way I can describe it is like it's like raindrops on a window, but instead of rolling down like the window, it's fading out of the channel. That's the best way I can describe it. It's very pretty and creates a very nice atmosphere. The tone, yeah, the tone fucks. That's a really good guitar tone. It's very sharp. It's like a buzzsaw, just ripping through the channel.
Buzzsaws sound
Piercing
strong.
the veil.
Okay.
Buzzsaws sound strong.
That sounded strong.
No, it didn't. It sounded thin.
It's hard to get a lot of bass in your tone cone when you're playing on a thin string real high up on the fretboard, pal.
Okay.
It's a great tone. Amazing tone.
Oh my lord, no, it is not.
It's definitely easily one of his best tones up to this point.
No,
Especially for a solo. I'd give that a 9.
Surprisingly, blasting through this album, we are at song number 7, Childhood's End. Ooh, the poll has flipped. 54% say Obscured by Clouds is the most underrated Pink Floyd album. Alright, chat. See what you guys get by the end. They were recording the album while making Obscured by Clouds. I mean, Obscured by Clouds is a soundtrack album, though.
Anybody going to see that the Pompeii remake or improvement that's going in theaters?
I don't
Are you
know.
aware of that?
I heard about it. I don't
Very
know.
excited.
We'll have to see.
I might go. Maybe we can do a review on it. Nice video.
You shout in your sleep. Perhaps the price is just too steep. Is your conscience at rest? If once put to the test, you awake with a start. Just the beating of your heart. Just one man beneath the sky. Just who is, just two eyes. You set sail across the sea, long past thoughts and memories. Childhood's
This
age,
bass
your
is going hard.
fantasies merge with harsh realities. And then as the sail is hoist, you find your eyes were growing moist.
guessing you want first on this? Yeah.
I would love to go first.
Yeah, I thought so.
We got Time Senior over here, or Time Junior, depending on how you want to look at it. Because this is basically, I mean, it's so similar to Time, which will come out next year on Dark Side of the Moon. It's a little eerie, honestly. But I mean, for me, this is my favorite song on this album. I think it's their best song melodically. I think it's got his best solo on this album. I think it's got his best vocal performance on this album. I think it's the best guitar tone on this album. I just think this song does like everything that this album is trying to do the best. It's got my favorite lyrics on the album.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just every part of this song is just like my favorite on this album. Great writing, really good vocals. Love the movement of the song. Just love how it progresses. Great atmosphere. You know, don't really have a complaint about it. Feeling a 9.5.
9.5. Well, I would like to go next because I have very rarely said this on this channel, but I'm in entire agreement with Cole. Everything he just said is a factual statement. I think that this has the way Gilmore, correct? David singing?
Yes.
Yes, the way David's singing on this is perfect for this song. He still hasn't gotten to his peak vocally, but this is damn good and almost near that type of line that he's going to get to. Oh my goodness, the lyrics on this song are just so fucking good. Easily the best on the album. The previous song I mentioned the lyrics on, I already forgot it. Were great, but this one takes the cake for it. And I agree with Cole. The guitar tone is the peak on this album right here. This is just a beautifully well-made guitar tone that fits this song and this instrumental so perfectly. And the impact of the drumming with the guitar, just the note hits and the bass are so aligned perfectly, and everything you would hope would be in this instrumental is well made. To me, this is a 10. Noah.
No, it's not the best song on the album. A little goofy. Does have the best solo. Does have the best solo on the album. I'll give you that. It's definitely one of his better solos in his career. I wish the tone could have been a little better. Wish it was a bit more robust, a little less thin.
It's a better tone than Mudmen. It's a way better tone than
Equally
Mudmen.
as thin, if not thinner.
They both have
It's
great
a
tones. This
way
one
better
takes the cake,
guitar.
though.
Okay.
Not much to complain about. Just disagree with insert best this on the album, because a lot of that goes to what's the deal, not this. That especially lyrically, I think that one's better. That one fills me with joy.
No, this one's
This
so...
does not fill me with joy. I need my whimsy. Where's my whimsy?
The descriptive factor.
Well, just because it's
this
dark.
Song, the descriptive factor on this song, the way he just describes what he's going around, is so fantastic.
Maybe what's up the deal? It's just more my speed lyrically, my vibe.
I guess.
Just some happy times. I mean, I said all this just to get the same answer. I used a completely different formula. Got to the same exact answer because I was just defending a completely different song. 9.5.
All right, up next.
Fair enough.
3-4. 3,
1, 2, 3, 4.
I did that backwards. I did 4-3. Cole gave us a 9.5, but Earth by Little Dicky got a 10. Damn it, Cole!
Sorry. Not that.
Are the deeds of a man in his prime. You shuffle in the gloom of the sick room and talk to yourself as you die.
That's such a weird synth bass.
Right?
Like sitting.
They have this super jaunty song with hand clapping, and then they're just like
straight
Roger
bass.
Waters is the original edgelord.
80 years with luck or
He
even
sounds great on
less.
this song, by the way, Mr. Waters. I love this song so much.
So all aboard for the American tour, and maybe you'll make it to the top. But mind how you go, and I can tell you 'cause I know you may find it hard to get off.
Never been an issue for me, Mr. Waters.
Okay.
Wow, that's something you just said live on the internet.
Wrong side of 20, by the way.
36 people just heard you say that shit. Wow. Probably a handful of which are minors.
I couldn't.
Way to go.
I didn't say
Yeah.
anything wrong. This is about to be the best.
You are the angel of death, and I am the dead man's son.
Oh, I love that so much.
He was buried like a mole in a foxhole, and everyone's still on the run. And who is the master of foxhounds? And who says the hunt has begun? Who calls the tune in the courtroom? And who beats the funeral drum?
Massive props for being able to get even a bit of a guitar solo lick in there between the lines.
The memories of a man in his old age.
It's kind of his thing around this time.
Of a man in his prime.
Loves his,
Got about
he really
5
loves his little guitar licks.
Got about 3 seconds, maybe, to do something wild with a guitar.
I'd love the first go at this one. I
Okay.
feel like I'm gonna differ from everybody.
I think you are. I know you disagree with me on this one. We talked about this one about a while ago.
I don't know how crazy I am about the mixture of the overly bouncy instrumental and the overly dark lyrics. It just comes off really silly to me. Especially with that, that synth bass is doing that big boom at the end of the lines. I don't know. This song comes off almost like satire to me. Like it's not a serious song. Like
It's got
I
very
don't know.
serious lyrics for an unserious
How am I supposed to feel
song.
about it? Like, yeah, the instrumental is so incredibly unserious. Yet the lyrics are very, very serious. I don't know. I'm not big on that.
I believe we call that
I'm also
contrasting.
not huge on Roger Waters singing in this manner either. If he's gonna sing, I prefer him to be on a slower song. I don't like it when he's on songs like this. He definitely did it better on their last album with a song like San Tropez. Solo is solid. Actually, it was probably the weakest solo on the album. I don't know. This song just never really clicked for me very much as it has for others. I'd give that a 7.
Ooh, that is rough. That is really rough because I completely disagree with every opinion you just stated. First of all, I think the solo is fantastic. Nowhere near the weakest on the album at all. What I was going to say is Roger Waters sounds fantastic vocally. I think it's the best vocal performance he's given up to this point in their discography. I think he nails.
What is that really saying?
Well, I mean, sure, but it's significantly better than the next one. And I think he nails the, I guess, the grooviness part of it with these contrasting as fuck lyrics, which come in are, and if you read them, are very dark. I mean, they are. I am the angel of death, and you are the dead man's son. Like, that's some dark shit. And there's other ones I can't even remember off the top of my head, but there's some bars in here, some absolute lines in here that go hard. And I love the lyrics on this song. I think they're fantastic. I think I give the lyrics a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, because you're edgy.
This has nothing to do with edgy. I just think they're interesting to read. They're fun to sing out loud. They're fun to bop along to. The guitar, the drumming is fantastic. The instrumental is fantastic. The only thing I have an issue with here is I wish they let the guitar go a bit harder. I do wish they let more of a solo happen. I do wish they had let the guitar have more lines in between, or sorry, more of a what's it called when you go in between a line for a couple seconds? I guess a lick or something. I don't know. Just more of an effect between the lyrics than he was allowed to have, because I felt like they were limiting what the song did there. So that's the only reason it's not like a 10 for me, and it goes to a 9, is because there could be a way better version of this where it's just the guitar is like almost carrying the song, as because I think Water sounds fantastic. I think this is one of those few fantastic vocals he has. All right, Cole, you gonna split the gap?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think the instrumental's fun, and I get that it's kind of weird to have a fun instrumental with lyrics that are, you know, rather not happy. But I don't really have much of a problem with it. I guess Waters is fine vocally. I am certainly not impressed by him vocally. Not until, I wouldn't say I'm impressed by him vocally until Animals. So definitely not impressed. But he doesn't ruin it. is the biggest compliment I can give him in this era of the band, is he's not fucking it up yet.
No, he's making it. He's making it good.
He's doing okay. I mean, yeah, good lyrics, very good melody, fun instrumental, kind of weird, but I think they pulled off pretty well. I'll throw 3, 4, and 8.5.
8. Up next, Stay. That's what Cole will be saying when he bumps Hacker into the trap house.
Yeah, I'll just say, stay.
Press play.
Okay.
Bar.
Shut up. Shut your stupid fucking face.
Stay
Yes, sir.
and help me to end the day.
These lyrics have Richard Wright written all over them. I don't know if he wrote it, but it just feels like it
We'll break
does.
a bottle
I
of
think this is
wine.
a Waters
Stick
right
around.
song.
I don't know Thala.
Maybe we'll put one down.
No, I do not know Thala.
That's such a
song-
random
that song
thing to throw out
fucks.
there. That album
What
fucks.
lies behind those eyes?
Is this some popular song?
No.
Midnight blue,
Popular band.
burning gold, a yellow moon is growing cold.
That makes me uncultured. All right, chill, man.
I just realized how funny this lyric is.
Surprised to find you by my
The one he's about to sing.
Rack my brain and try to remember your name.
That.
I wonder what this song's about.
It's really funny.
The words to tell you.
Hey, I can
Like-
tell you what the song's about.
It's like the second song he's written about this
I
subject.
love banging chicks and then forgetting their names the next day.
writing very pretty piano songs about
One
it.
Night Stand, most beautiful one night stand ballad of all time.
Richard is the ladies' man.
Girl has one topic that she's a genius at.
Nobody
That is
finds
a wild guitar. Sounds like it's getting sleepier. Like, that's almost comically funny.
Can you say that again for me?
That is almost comically funny.
Thank you.
Big, almost comically funny guy.
Did I say something stupid or something?
What is comically funny supposed to? You just said funny twice.
No, I didn't. Comically
Yes.
not funny.
That was fun.
Yes,
funny.
it
There's
is.
funny and then there's comically funny.
Oh my lord, shut the fuck up.
How do I put it? It's a little odd because out of the rest of this album, you have pretty much an entire album of like dreary, sort of not groovy, but dreary guitar tones. And then you get this one, which is very chill guitar, a very chill instrumental, not a whole lot going on, but this guitar randomly coming in and just going wah, 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 like back and forth like it's getting squeaked on. Is
Someone want to clip that
so
for me?
odd. It's so
Hey, I love when I'm
odd.
getting squeaked on.
Oh, no.
Getting my
Alright,
shit squeaked
alright.
on. Straight squeaking it.
We gotta continue. Okay. Recovery. So I'm trying to talk.
Right.
Okay. What I was gonna say is that the guitar is very odd for this song. I do think it kind of fit well, but it was a little odd. I like the instrumental for the most part. I thought the singing was who was singing? Was it Gilmore?
I think it was Richard Wright.
He was singing pretty well. He's not usually my favorite singer in Pink Floyd, but I thought he sounded pretty good there. I mainly liked the guitar, honestly. I didn't think there was a whole lot else to really talk about. It was kind of a boring, sounds bad terminology here, but it never picked up. It never did a whole lot else besides that squeaker guitar that just kept going and going. So I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5. Cole.
Oh, golly. Getting squeaked on. Oh my lord.
Straight squeaking on the beat.
That was like as good as Yorking it. Oh my
No,
gosh.
dude.
Ah, very pretty song. Big fan of this one. Oh, I don't know why Richard Wright keeps writing songs about one night stands, but he does, and they're really good.
He knows what he likes and he doesn't lean off of it.
Love the piano playing. Huge fan of the piano playing on this one. Great melody. Yeah, cool guitar solo. Maybe goes a little overboard with the wah pedal. Maybe squeaks on it a little too much. 'Cause that can be a problem if you get too squeaky with it.
What did you say, Noah?
Hugo said squeak on that thing.
Oh my god. Go ahead, Cole.
Feeling a 8.5 to a 9.
Damn. Okay. Noah.
Yorking on it until I squeak.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Oh,
Okay.
gosh.
This is a good song right here, guys. It's a very pretty song. Yeah, another song about a one-night stand. Good for you, Richard, I guess. Keep having them if you keep making good songs like this about them. Very nice. Big fan of the wah wah on the guitar here. I
Wawa
see it
is
does
great.
squeak a bit at some points. It does do a little bit of squeaking. I have no issue with that squeaking because it's a good solo. It's definitely one of their better solos on the album. Has a certain vibe to it. I'd give that a 9.
Pretty close to the end. We are at the last song. Would you look at that? We've made it to the end of Obscured by Clouds on to Absolutely Curtains, which is also an instrumental.
Absolutely curtains. I can't not say
Longest
that in a
song.
British
Well
accent.
done, actually.
Absolutely curtains.
You need to stop.
I want my MTV.
Parody.
That sounds like the intro of the fucking Money for Nothing. Fucking saucer full of secrets keyboard tone.
That's some wild keyboard tones on this one.
Mark, I will not sing that one verse of Money for Nothing. I will not do that. I'm not getting canceled.
Cancel.
Yeah, Money for Nothing says the F slur.
Hold on.
Somebody's late to the party.
Huh! Would you look at that? It does. I didn't know that. Oh, I did know that.
A saucer full of curtains. Something funny about that.
That drum is drumming. Cosmic, I unfortunately could not show it on the screen, but if you just type it in, you can find out. This makes absolutely zero sense for this album. Just none. Also, no Eli said there were no more instrumentals.
I think this is like the end credits of the movie. It's a really weird movie.
Yeah, this is like some mid-summer shit going on.
I mean, the movie is like they're in like the jungle of I don't even know what country, but like some South American jungle or something. They're just chilling with some tribe.
2 more minutes.
They got some harmony going on. You bumping this in a trap?
Just the last like 2 minutes of this song, yeah. Get the gang holding hands in a circle, chanting.
Oh, God.
I still don't know how to feel about this song, even after like 7 years after hearing it for the first time. The first half's interesting, I guess. Sounds a bit psychedelic. Sounds like some of their earlier stuff, some of their late 60s stuff. Then it goes into that, into the
Yeah.
chanting,
Yeah.
which is just there, I guess. I don't know. This has always been a very confusing song for me. So this feels right to just give it a 5.
5. Wow. Cole?
I suppose I definitely like it a little bit more than Noah does. But yeah, it's certainly an odd change of pace because you have all these really straightforward, Pink Floyd-esque songs, and then there's just kind of this weird, almost tribal, chorus piece at the end of it. It's kind of hard to make heads or tails of what they're trying to do. It does make more sense in the context of it being a soundtrack album.
Yeah.
Um, it's far from the best on the album. It would definitely be towards the bottom, but I still think like melodically it's pretty cool, and I do like what they're trying to go for. I don't think they pull it off as incredibly as maybe they could have, but I still think it's a pretty cool piece of music for the most part. I give it a 7 to a 7.5.
7 to 7.5. I'm gonna much more be on Cole's side. I do think it has a good instrumental here at one point. It doesn't make any sense with the rest of the album. It doesn't fit at all. Especially with this album trying to sound much more like Dark Side would on the next few, especially on a lot of songs here. It's completely out of place and it doesn't make any sense on here. Then again, we don't rate songs based upon their placement in the album. We rate it based upon what they actually are. And for the first 3 minutes, there's pretty much nothing wrong with this song. It's probably a 6 to a 7, maybe a 8 at certain parts. Then the chanting happens, and it's like, okay, for a minute, that's fine. 2.5 minutes of chanting? Little much. Didn't need that long. Drops it down to like a 6.5 to a 7. It's final rankings time. So, for those who've never been here before, or to everyone on YouTube who might be seeing this for the first time, first of all, hit subscribe. But second of all, we do final rankings. We take our top 3 songs of the album, we put them in order. We give the album, give the album a 1 to 10 ranking. And then, given that we are doing Pink Floyd's entire discography, we put the 7 studio albums we listened to so far on our channel in order of best to worst to best. Who would like to go first?
Me.
Okay. Noah, you are up, sir.
At 3, I'll go Mudmen. At 2, I will go Childhood's End. 1, What's the Deal? You know, after really looking at the album, going through it, paying attention to it as the only thing I'm really paying attention to the whole time, not really as good as I once thought of it as being. It's definitely got some really good songs in here. I wouldn't say there's any bad songs. I'd say that really there's just a couple songs that are a little boring.
Hmm.
Like something like I don't know, like there's just something that could have been done more of. The songs that could have been written out better. I think that this album is probably like an 8.
8.
Time to rank the discography now.
Indeed.
At number 7, we have Umaguma. 6, More. 5, Piper. 4, Saucerful of Secrets. 3, Obscured by Clouds. 2, Atom Heart Mother. 1, Metal.
Wow. That is wow. You know what? I wasn't gonna go second. I wanted to let I'm gonna still let Cole go second, actually. Never
He
mind.
just wants to shit on the Atom Heart Mother for
Cole,
no reason.
you're up.
Top 3 is gonna be. I think I'm gonna go Stay at 3. What's the Deal at 2? Childhood's End at 1. I do. I mean, it's hard to call any Pink Floyd album underrated, but because I don't really consider any of their albums to be massively underrated. But if I were going to assign a Pink Floyd album to be the most underrated, I would probably be this one. Because I think it's just a really solid, really good collection of songs here. The songwriting is very consistent throughout the album. It's good lyrically, it's got good melodies. It's just a solid album to me. Even though it's a soundtrack, I think it's a big improvement over their first soundtrack album. And I think it's got some real Pink Floyd discography highlights on it, like Childhood's End or What's the Deal. Yeah. Overall, I'm feeling an 8 out of 10 on Obscured by Clouds.
Oh, okay.
And in my ranking, number 7 is going to be Umaguma. 6 is going to be Piper. 5, Saucerful of Secrets. 4, More. 3, Atom Heart Mother. 2, Obscured by Clouds. And number 1 is Metal.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look up one thing before I do my album rankings. But all right, so my top 3 is going to be. Yeah, I was thinking about this beforehand. I'm gonna do Free 4 at 3, Mudmen at 2, Childhood's End at 1, and I think that means we are all entirely different top 3s on this album, which is very abnormal for us. Usually somebody links up, but very different, appealing album for different reasons here. Yeah, I think Cole said it best. Album is very above average consistent, but it's not like elite by any stretch. There are really good moments like Childhood's End, Mudmen, Free 4, What's the Deal. All those are great moments in Pink Floyd's discography, but there's something missing from almost every single one of them. Childhood's End I gave a 10, but there probably could be still a little bit better. And about the first half of the album is just really above average, good, but there's just something missing that they'll get to in the next couple albums. They just haven't mastered that yet. And this is in my opinion, I do think this is sort of a step up from Metal in the terms that they are getting closer and closer to their elite songwriting. But maybe as like they're to their sound they will make, and their songwriting is getting better and better. Their production is getting better and better, but maybe the song choices weren't better than Metal, if you can understand what I'm saying. But they're getting closer to where they will be, and I think that's a very important factor in this album. I'm gonna give this album. I used to have this album as a 9. I also agree with Noah. This album fell a little bit for me on this listen. It wasn't as really good as I remember it being. That said, it is underrated by Pink Floyd fans. I do think most of them do not put it in their top 3. I mean, we saw by the poll I put up earlier, nobody had it in their top 3. I don't know how many would have it in their top
Good
5. I don't know. Maybe a lot more, maybe not that many. I think this is probably a top 5 Pink Floyd album, probably, but we'll see. I'm going to give this an 8.5, just slightly off your guys's. It used to be a 9. It's dropped a little. I could honestly see myself giving it an 8 as well, but there's a couple songs I rated a little higher than you guys. And as for my discography ranking, I need to check one thing really quickly, because I got to check what did I give Metal.
All right, let's see
Nine
how
and a half,
hard
okay.
he
All right,
forces the
all
Adam
right,
Hart Mother
all right,
hate
all
this
right.
time.
So my number 7 is Umaguma. Obviously, we've all agreed on that. Worst album they made. My number 6 is going to be Piper. My number 5 is going to be Adam Hart Mother. My number 4 is Saucer. 3 is More. 2 is Obscured by Clouds, and 1 is Metal.
The fuck?
What?
More at 3?
Yeah.
Are we listening to the same music?
Yeah. I mean,
Because
the soundtrack albums aren't bad. They're just not elite.
You disliked one song on Adam Hart Mother, and then like half
didn't
of
dislike
More is
than-
fucking Sleeper.
No,
What
it
the
is.
fuck?
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, it is,
it's
actually.
better than Piper and Saucer.
I'll start wrong.
No,
Jesus
Piper and
Christ.
Saucer have so many misses. They have so many misses.
Well, you also just described More right there.
No, you
That's
just
such a
find More to
crazy
be
placement.
boring. I don't find More that boring. I just don't find it that great. There's a big difference. Like I think Obscured by Clouds has great moments. There's no real great moments on it More, but there's nothing really horrible either.
There's the Spanish piece.
You gave a
Oh
song
yeah,
a 0.
yeah. A Spanish piece is terrible. You're right. You're not wrong about that. That is a truly awful song. But that's one song. I mean, there's nothing like that on Scared, of course, and there's nothing like that on Metal, obviously. But I don't think Adam Hart Mother has Alan Psychedelic Breakfast. That's unforgivable.
Which is a good song.
That is unforgivable.
Shut up.
Unforgivably bad. And it's so long too. All right, we gotta move on though. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for watching our Pink Floyd 7th studio album review of Obscured by Clouds. Our next album review from Pink Floyd will of course be the legendary Dark Side of the Moon. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who are interested in that one. Of course, one of the biggest selling albums of all time. And our next video will be, the next stream will be a Radiohead's 7th studio album, which is, somebody remind me?
The King of Limbs.
The King of Limbs. I don't know anything about it. I've never listened to it, so it'll be a first listen to
Maybe, probably their second most hated album.
Ah, there you go. Well, hope you guys enjoy. If you did, remember to like down below and hit subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. We tweet whenever we go live, and we post whenever we go on YouTube, or we upload to YouTube. Also, join our Discord. We have a bunch of music reaction channels. We have a bunch of music ranking channels, and we have a ton of stuff for you to talk about in there if you want to. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
You awake with a star.